Hotel employees, what's the one thing you wish guests knew happened behind the scenes? We know you're cheating on your wife. I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't care. But don't bother making up a backstory when you're paying in cash 1-2 times a week in the town you live in. I wish people understood how detailed the pay-per-view TV systems are. Oh? You want to dispute that $15 charge because you didn't even watch it? Let me see. Oh yes. You ordered DeBeaters Dallas and watched for 35 minutes the first time. And then 17 minutes the second time. I was thankful for this, on a biz trip, looking through titles. Along with notices, titles won't appear on bill. I accidentally ordered the Enron story, shut it off immediately. Called front desk, didn't want to turn into HR my hotel bill with movie rented. Name withheld for the fricking movie about Enron. The hotel took it off my bill. I do not have secret rooms in the back that I keep just for high tier guests. If I'm sold out, I'm sold out. Your reviews are seriously listened to. With every property that I have worked at except for a super shitty one. If an employee's name is mentioned negatively in an online review, that isn't necessarily grounds for a write-up, but it's definitely a fast track there. Most properties watch their online reviews like hawks. With almost any situation. Unless you are speaking with a manager or someone high up the chain of command. You're a lot more likely to get what you want. High floor with a good view. Parking, food charges removed. Etc. You're better off being nice rather than rude. I worked overnight in a smallish hotel, 430 rooms. Which meant that between about 11:10 PM to 5 AM I was alone at the desk. I wished more people were considerate to the fact. When I tell you I can't run up to bring you whatever you've called down for because I'm the only person on duty and can't leave the desk and you'll need to come down and get it. I'm not being lazy. I've got a lot of arrivals, most will come in between 11 p.m. Or someone is at the desk checking and asking a question, buying something from the gift shop. Or something ridiculous is going on that I'm taking care of. This doesn't mean I'll always say no. But when I do, I am actually busy. That Expedia takes a 25% cut. We'd much rather have you go with booking.com. 15%, or even better, contact us directly. I've seen a lot of contact us directly advice in this thread, but it seems like every time I try to call a hotel directly about a reservation, I end up being connected to the national reservation hotline for that hotel chain, as opposed to the specific hotel I was trying to call. What am I doing wrong? Hotels overbook as a policy. I guess there is a known statistic that X% of guests will not show up, and it is true 99.9% of the time. So show up to your hotel ASAP to ensure that you get your room. Also, the hotel is full of people who expect to be treated like they are the only person in the universe. If someone is taking a long time to get something done, it probably means someone stopped them. There is no reason a hotel employee is going to piss off a guest on purpose because they don't know how many days they are going to have to deal with you. We keep extensive notes on you. Occupation. Kids. Anything we can use to tailor our interactions specifically to you. We also keep extensive notes on every dickish thing you've ever done. Scream at me or my coworker. I'm writing a long ass note in your profile while you're still yelling at me. Then when you try to spin it in your post-stay survey, I can point my manager to the detailed and objective note I wrote about why you're an asshole. We also put in the nice comments. I can only grant so many late checkouts without screwing over the entire housekeeping department. Ask at check-in, not 5 minutes before checkout. And don't be aghast when I tell you no. Ducking ask for things. Is the bed too soft? We have bedboards. Is the toilet too high? We have cushions. Need more little shampoos? We have literally thousands of them. But we don't know you need these things unless you ask us. Rant. Employees can see where you work. If you do something terrible, they could contact your employer. Especially if you are using your employer's name for a special rate. One time there was a guy who stayed at our property a lot and liked to look through windows at people, otherwise be creepy. We had to call his company and let them know that he wasn't welcome at our property anymore. Pretty sure they fired him. I run the bell desk at a hotel on the strip. No one ever goes through your belongings. Ever. Guests blame the bell person because they take their items into the back room. People usually misplace their items and blame my team member who helped them, but after looking at surveillance video and seeing nothing out of the ordinary, that usually prompts people to take a closer look, and they usually find what they had misplaced. If you have a do not disturb sign on your door, we technically are not allowed to even knock on your door even if you just called down and asked us to bring you something. Marriott full service property. There is no standard way that all hotels do things. Just because another hotel does it that way doesn't mean we do. And if the staff are grumpy, it's usually because of the way management treat them. Hotels have a tendency to overwork and underpay their staff, and it's hard to appear happy you're made to feel like a worthless piece of shit. Same goes for housekeeping. I see a lot of reviews that are like the cleaners need to be taught how to clean properly. Trust me. They know how to clean. They just don't have enough time to. They have a lot of rooms to get done and not enough time to do it. And if they can't keep up, they won't last long. Professional cleaning is very different from home cleaning. A lot of rules are set in stone in the right situation. Last week a snowstorm caused a bunch of accidents that actually made it impossible to get to our hotel because of road closures. People who called and asked were given refunds because of the circumstances. But people who didn't call weren't. The quilt on the bed is not regularly cleaned. The bed sheets. More likely. Not so much a quilt. It's a bed scarf. It's not to be cuddled. Think about it. It's to protect the bed sheets when you put your luggage on the bed so you don't get your gross dirty luggage smeared over the sheets. Take it and throw it on the ground and never touch it again. Use the luggage rack to prop your luggage up. That, despite night audit, third shift, being pretty slow, I do have actual work I need to be doing, and I'm not just sitting on my ass the whole time in between noise complaints and getting people towels or plunging their toilets when the houseman is busy. Please keep in mind that most hotels are pretty understaffed and that at 3 AM. I'm gonna be the only one here, so if you have any issues, they're gonna be resolved once the GM housekeeping maintenance arrives much later if I can't fix them. If a guest service rep answers the phone while checking you in, it's not rude. It's because she or he will likely be disciplined for letting the phone ring more than 3 times. My mom used to be a housekeeper. Please do not ask to replace bedsheet more than once a day. The bed mattress is very heavy, and putting sheet while holding the mattress is not an easy job. Housekeeping literally cleans with professional grade black lights at my property. We can tell if you tried to clean your sheet off the walls because it glows red. And, well, there are many colors that mean many things. And we know how freaky you can be. Even if it's not work related. A lot of people do travel for business and use the same rewards number. If you use that rewards number, it shows your business. If you do not use any of that yet still do something truly awful, they've already got your name, address, CC number, etc. Most hotels ask for ID and CC and phone number upon arrival. They enter all of that info into their computer base. They can find you. People working the buffet at breakfast cook with one microwave. I'm sorry that the eggs, sausage, and biscuits ran out right at the same time. The eggs have been cooking in the microwave for about 5 minutes and it'll be about another 20 before everything gets refilled. Literally nothing I can do about it. Not working there anymore. Not hotel. But I work in a hostel. Like mentioned above. The housekeeping does an amazing job. I wish people would realize we are not trying to make their stay miserable. We are not out to get them. We're doing whatever we can with the limited means we have. If the boiler is out of hot water because too many people shower, what exactly do you want me to do about it? We get a lot of backpackers here who are generally a bit more laid back than your typical high-end hotel guest, but even then, some can be a right pain. If I say we only have dorm rooms, then don't come to reception after having paid to complain there is no ensuite bathroom and you don't have the room to yourself. Quick edit, not to forget the fact I was once elbow deep in sheet-filled water trying to unclog the toilet drain outside. That we need a credit card for incidentals before we give you keys to a room. If we cannot guarantee payment, you will not get keys. Safety is a big concern. Walking up to me and giving your name and asking for a key to a room that is under your wife's name isn't going to fly. I've never met you. I don't know who your wife is. No key for you. Don't get angry at me. Next time put both your names on the reservation. Getting a late checkout is a privilege. Housekeeping works so hard, so we have to make sure they leave at the time they're supposed to. I can allow some rooms late checkouts, but after a certain number I have to cut it off out of respect for my co-workers. First come first serve. If you have to have an early check-in because we're going to a wedding and we need to change and do our makeup and take pictures etc, that's nice and I'm happy to do what I can. Less happy if you're demanding and rude about it, but it all depends on what our occupancy was the night before and if housekeeping has cleaned a room for you. If no one has left and you're trying to check in at 9 AM when checkout for last night's guests is 11 AM and your guaranteed check-in time is 3 PM. There is literally nothing I can do to help you except to direct you to the lobby restrooms to change. If you need it that early, then book the room for the night before as well. And if a room's ready, of course I'll check you in. I like weddings and I want you to have fun. I get kickbacks from the restaurant I recommended you go to. Yes, the food is good, so it's an honest recommendation, but yeah, there's a reason I always say them. That's all I can think of now. Maybe more later. Housekeeping works there as of. We had a high turnover one Saturday and they asked people to come in to help strip rooms, take all the sheets off and put them in bags with the towels to be cleaned, to make it quicker for them to get the cleaning done. I work in conference sales and services but went in on my day off to help. My resort is big on we are all one team. Oh my god. I wanted to cry within an hour. I was sweaty, tired, and even with gloves I felt gross. My whole body was sore. We literally were doing such a small part of what housekeeping does every single day. Even as a hotel employee for many years now, I truly had no idea. Tip your housekeepers. Please. They work so hard. Some other things, if you're a jerk it will be added to comments on your reservation, and every time someone, front desk, concierge, etc, pulls you up they will get a nice little warning about how you treated someone else. Anyone who has access to the rooms program, whether it's Opera or God help you V1, can see your entire history with that resort hotel. We get people who try to lie about their past rates all the time. And reservations tracks every time you call with notes, so when you call back to try and scam or lie to the next agent they know. At my previous resort I know a few people would also Google map the homes of guests who were very wealthy just to OHH&R, or if they were a jerk to find something to mock about it. Lots of googling and looking up LinkedIn profiles of guests. We used to allocate rooms for the remainder of the day and would usually upgrade our regulars, or we'd put the one-nighters in a slightly better room, as we tended to sell the standard rooms to walk-ins. Plain and simple. If you were a big dig to me and I noticed you'd been allocated a better room, I'd change that sheet. Also, if you're complaining to reception about something, just tell them what you want rather than making a big ducking deal and throwing a tantrum during checkout. If you want free breakfast or free parking or an upgrade, just say so. In my hotel, we didn't wash the bed cover or blanket unless there were visible stains or the guest requested it. Only the sheets were washed between every guest. And that's also why there are so many sheets on a hotel bed. That the 1 to 10 scoring system on our hotel stay survey reviews are designed to only get 10s. Anything listed as 8 or below is seen as a 1. I had one guy put all 8s and say you guys did amazing. But there is always room to improve, and he did not realize he gave us the worst score possible because it was not a 9 or 10. Also, when doing your scores, be fair to each department. Do not put a 1 beside breakfast when you are mad the internet Wi-Fi was slow. I did housekeeping back in high school. This may not go for all hotels. But I know in mine all the housekeeping staff fought over towels because they were in such short supply. I know a lot of guests would just keep accepting new towels and not giving their used ones back. I guess people just assume there are plenty to go around. But believe me, there weren't. Call girls are pretty obvious. I worked as a housekeeper for a seaside hotel in the UK for 2 years. If a guest sheet pisses the bed, which happens more frequently than you'd imagine, the mattress gets turned over again and again. Not once in 2 years was I asked to clean one or organize for it to be cleaned or replaced.